Hello, welcome to Tracie Thrives at Home, or welcome back if you're returning. I'm so glad you're here. This year, I'm starting off my holiday season decorating with a few budget-friendly DIYs that I wanted to try to create some key pieces to use in my decor. To get started, I wanted to add an oversized jingle bell to my collection. I don't have any just yet, and I found this plastic one at the Dollar Tree for $5 and really liked the size of it and the sound of the bell, so I thought it would be the perfect base for this project. I first began by removing the ribbon and picks and all of that extra stuff that came attached to the bell. Using a black acrylic paint mixed with a clear primer, I lay down the first layer of paint. Since I'm painting over kind of like a slicker plastic surface, I'm using primer to help the paint adhere to the surface. I'm using black because the look that I'm going for with this bell was vintage, darker metal age, so I'm creating a dark base, and then I will add in the metallic colors over the black paint. I let that first layer of black paint dry for 24 hours, and then I added a second layer before moving on to those metallic layers. For that metallic layer, I'm going to combine ebony, gold leaf, and antique gold rub and buff all together, and then I'm using a paper towel. I think it might be a little bit damp as well to dab that combination all over the bell. After that had set for a couple of hours, I went back in with just the ebony rub and buff and applied that to the bottom of the bell, to all of the cutouts, right around the outside of all of the cutouts, to the stem and the handle and the center seam of the bell. All of the places where aged metal would probably darken over time, and I really think this little detail really took this DIY to the next level. I let the bell dry for 24 hours after that application. I had this brown rope in my DIY stash, and I thought it would pair beautifully with the bell and also with the rest of my decor. As always, Luna was nearby. She wanted to come and tell everyone hello. Hit the like button if you want to say hi to Luna. I attached the rope to the bell just by knotting it to the handle, and then I tied sort of like a slip knot at the end, and then I'm just tucking that end in there, and then I go in with small little dabs of hot glue just to secure that end knot in place. To wrap up this DIY, I decided to add a bow to the jingle bell, and so I chose this green and white herringbone pattern cloth ribbon that I picked up at Michael's to create my own bow with. Something about a herringbone pattern I think feels really classic, and I love this green color, so I thought it would look really beautiful on this bell. I just tied the bow and then worked it to get it to the size that I wanted, that I thought would look good on the bell. And then I cut fishtails into the end of the ribbon and using twine attached it to the handle of the bell, and I think it's so beautiful. Very happy with how this jingle bell turned out, and I kind of wish I had picked up a couple more. You could use something like this styled throughout your home, and I think it looks great both on a tabletop or hanging. It's so pretty. The next project I'm sharing with you is my front door wreath. I wanted Norfolk pine, snow, berries, pine cones, and also a beautiful bow and classic bells. And so when I couldn't find exactly what I was looking for, I decided to try to create it myself. I found this bell ornament at Walmart for just a couple of dollars and thought the bell shapes and sizes would work perfectly in my wreath. I started by deconstructing the ornament and pulling the bells apart, pulling all the foliage off, and then I combined a clear primer, black acrylic paint, and an antique gold acrylic paint all together and applied 2 layers of that, waiting 24 hours between each layer. I then took a combination of antique gold and gold leaf rub and buff and lightly swiped that all around each bell just to give it that aged metallic effect, and I think they turned out perfect. Now for the wreath itself, I picked up this wreath at Walmart because it was a good price and also had many of the elements that I was looking for, so I thought it would make a great base for this project. I also grabbed a pack of Norfolk pine stems from Amazon. So this wreath is 28 inches, so it's a very nice size, and I didn't need it to be bigger around, I just want it to be a lot fuller. So I added those Norfolk pine picks to the inside of the wreath, overlapping but spaced evenly throughout. I tucked them into the wreath base and then secured them each with a piece of twine. As I attached each stem to the wreath, I took the time to really separate and shape and fluff both the picks and the wreath to help blend the two together, but also to create the fullness I was looking for. If you use any fake foliage in your home whatsoever, never forget to fluff. So after adding all of that additional volume, I thought it looked a little sparse on the pine cone, so I added just a couple more. I had some on hand. I like to get scented pine cones every holiday season, so I had plenty on hand. I just added a couple, and I used twine, wrapped it around the pine cone, and then I knotted it to the wreath. Super easy. Now, since I chose a flocked wreath, I wanted to go through and add a snow effect to the elements that I had added to it so that it looks really seamless and finished. So I bought this snow text at Michael's, and I'm just going through very detailed, very meticulously, and making sure to apply it to all of the pine cones and all of the pine pieces. Here's how it's looking. Next, I'm going to go in and add a bow and those bells that I prepped earlier. For the bow, I chose this red and white cloth ribbon. It's wired as well from Michael's. I thought it was really pretty, and I wanted my bow to be very layered and full. So to create that, I folded the ribbon into 3 layers to start with. I just kind of folded it back on itself, each layer bigger than the one above it until I have those 3 layers. I apologize, part of it was out of the frame here. Then I just took a piece of twine and tied it around the middle to create the center of the bow and also to kind of secure it all together. After I did that, I decided I wanted another layer, so I used that extra ribbon that was hanging off, tucked it into the twine at the back of the bow to create that 4th layer. The ribbon that's left over hanging at the end will be one of the tails, and I'm just taking a second piece of a ribbon and using it to wrap around the center of the bow to hide that twine, and then also to create a second tail. Then I'm adding fishtail cuts to each tail, but you could also just cut them diagonally if you prefer that look, and fluffing up the bow before adding a piece of twine to the back and securing it to the top of the wreath using that same piece of twine. Now for the final touch, I'm adding the bells. I used white velvet ribbon to attach the bells to the wreath, creating sort of a staggered look, and then knotted them all together at the top before then tying them to the wreath just under the bow directly to the base of the wreath there using that extra ribbon. Here is how the wreath turned out. I ended up adding just one small string of fairy lights. I think it's classic and festive and pretty, and I just love her. One of the things I like to do each season with my decor is switch out my artwork according to the season. So I'm going to do that here, but I'm also going to show you a quick and easy little trick to instantly make your framed art or photos look Christmassy without adding anything permanent or spending a ton of money. I've pre-cut some simple velvet ribbon pieces and also made one small bow from that velvet ribbon that I picked up at Michael's. I've got one of my mats here that I had previously painted this pretty green color, so I'm going to use that, and I'm placing one of the pieces of ribbon across the top of the mat and then wrapping the smallest piece around to the back, and one small dab of hot glue to that piece of ribbon on the back of the mat to secure the ribbon. After I've got those two pieces of ribbon attached, I'm adding the mat and artwork to the frame. And securing a small bow to the glass front using just a small dab of hot glue. It was really quick, easy, damage-free, and such a beautiful touch for your Christmas decor. I have one more frame that I knew I wanted to switch out on this day, and so I decided to add that bow touch to this one as well, but this time I have some red velvet ribbon and I'm adding it to a black mat. I thought these turned out so cute, and I love that it's low commitment, low effort change that really makes a big difference in your decor. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope these DIYs gave you a little inspiration for your own holiday decorating. Don't forget to subscribe for more cozy decorating, DIYs, and homemaking content. See you in the next one, friends. Bye.